What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Gotians Games, and welcome back to another Teppen video. Today's video, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to talk about Megaman X, because his design is vastly different from what we're used to seeing. And on top of that, his story is, it's a little intriguing. Now, it's a common trope in these type of crossover games where usually a hero or maybe one of the main heroes or whatever has lost their memory. That tends to happen a lot. But in this case, it's not, or at least I believe that it's not that X has lost his memories. It's that he doesn't have any yet. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if you look at his story, in a thick and thriving forest walled off by mountains, lay the forgotten remains of an ancient human civilization. If those remains could speak, what a story they would tell. We go to the next screenshot here. Humans had made robots as a way of enriching their own lives. There was one particular robot named X who could think, feel, and make his own decisions. For eons, X slept, nestled among the ruins. Now it was time to rise. Okay, so the way that I take that is that X got pulled out of his own world and sent to this one. Or the worlds all just happened to collide, and in doing so, it actually happened before X was supposed to be awoken by Dr. Dr. Light? And so because of that, X doesn't have any memories of Zero. X doesn't have any memories of anything because he hasn't interacted with any of them. He doesn't know anything about Sigma. He doesn't know anything about Vile. He doesn't know anything about any of the encounters that he's made throughout his lifetime. So with that kind of brings me to maybe wonder a little bit more about X's design, because when you look at him, his eyes are very lifeless. They look more like a robot who's empty. And as X developed after he got awoken, he then had the chance to be able to interact with humans and become more human-like, because, again, a particular robot named X who could think, feel, and make his own decisions. X hasn't had that interaction yet. So his neural pathways and everything else hasn't had time to process and become more human-like, which is what we're used to seeing in the Megaman X series, because at that point, X has already been in the human world for who knows how long at that point, because when you play the game, it says 20XX as the date. So, with that, X has not had enough time to be able to become who he is in the Megaman X series. So as we go on, X becomes confused on how he should act towards situations. In this case, where he fights Rathalos in as his first battle, he's protecting Ryu because Ryu's a human. X can scan and read life signs and detect what kind of life being they are. And so he's out of instinct protecting Ryu. But as we continue on, okay, so let's go on right here. So when he fights Dante, for the sake of his mission, X decided to move to a more heavily populated location. He analyzed the surrounding areas and managed to locate a town being attacked by a demon. Weapon system engaged, he entered the fray. Scanning target. The results shocked the Blue Bomber. The target was both human and demon. Robots must protect and never harm humans. What should he do? He raised his X-Buster, his mind filled with doubt. Now, if this was the X of current generation, like I have the X series down here. Let me actually pull that up. So if this was the X from, like, say, Megaman X5 or whatever, then he wouldn't have hesitated. He would have seen that it was human and demon, and he would have tried to speak to Dante instead of reacting. That's why that this is before the Megaman X series, which is actually kind of a cool concept when you think about it, and that would explain why his armor looks kind of corroded. His pod in the beginning, where he emerges from, is filled with vines and everything else, like it's been tucked away for eons, as it said. So as we continue on and we go to Wesker, Okay, so we get to Wesker's position. Inside the mansion, X witnessed the terrible atrocity. One human killing another. The Blue Bomber felt conflicted, but he couldn't neglect his mission. You will be eliminated, X declared to the murderer. However, their reply shocked him. I just killed a murderer. Who killed others like they were nothing? You see me as a murderer too, right? That's why you got your gun pointed at me. So how are you and I different? X couldn't answer, overwhelmed with confusion. He could only point his blaster. Again, if this was the X from the Megaman X series, he would have asked more questions. He would have tried to figure out what's going on. He would have tried to understand the situation that was put in front of him. Although we know, as fans of the Capcom series, of the different games and everything else like that, we know that Wesker's a villain. He is a murderer. He's an evil character, and we know that. Now, if it was X, he would have tried to talk to them and basically talk out the situation before resorting to violence. Because, not saying that Mega Man X is a pacifist, but he will try to not kill people or kill Reploids if he can help it. He would rather try to save them before anything else. Hence why in a lot of the Mega Man series, I think it was X4, when you fight the Mavericks, you actually save them. He doesn't kill them. And then they actually go and help him later on in the different battles in Mega Man X4, because X doesn't want to kill the people that he, or the robots that he knows. Like he knew them when they were good guys, before they got the Sigma virus, before they became Mavericks, and in doing so, he wanted to help him, and he did in Mega Man X4. So with that, that's how I see this, is that Mega Man is taken out of his time before he was supposed to have woken up, and that's why he looks the way he does. He hasn't had the opportunity to be fixed yet. That's why his blaster looks eroded. That's why he has a lot of stains on his armor, and that's why his eyes look the way they do, because he's brand new. It's like he was just born. So with that, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys, I don't know. I want to hear your theories on to why X looks and acts the way he does. This is my theory, like I said. With that, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you guys are new. I will catch you all in the next video. You guys have a great rest of your day. Peace out, guys.